None of this is good. It's good that he's giving money away to charity. It's good that he's very generous, but it's bad that he's a drug addict. What am I supposed to say? He does good, he does bad. Coach Greg and Togi's back with another movie about an hour and a half long. And so if you're interested, of course, go and check it out. And so we're going to be showing you some of the highlights or high knots.
Oh my God, dude. Last night I went to a steakhouse with all my friends and I went to pay for the bill. My card declined.
Togi, who's such a chill guy, he essentially gave away all of his savings, all of his money, thinking that's going to make me lock in and work harder than ever before. And so what were the results? Well, he got back on drugs. I mean, I was here to say, he's been locked in, he's training, he's not doing the goober, he's not sniffing creatine anymore. Bro is just locked in and conquering life, but unfortunately, that is not what happened.
I mean, that's just irresponsible, especially when you're out of money. Like, those are activities I used to be able to do when I was loaded, and it's like, no problem, dude. 17 racks on Tizzard, yurt.
Obviously, he's making a lot of money. Every month, the sponsors, they pay for his activities and so on. And so, despite the fact that he's given away all his money, he still has enough money to survive. This is not something that you should copy at home. Togi, he has essentially a backup. And I'm not talking about a side chick. I'm talking about a backup savings. And so, when he gives his money away, he has more that's rolling in.
I'm seriously starting to regret giving away all my money. Like, I thought that my life was going to be awesome after I did that. And I think I'm just kind of depressed now.
Did he, in fact, lock in? Well, he's just woken up and it's 7:17 p.m., not a.m. And so, essentially, he's wasting his life. He wants to find purpose, a reason to live. And so, he's decided to give the majority of his money away to charity. And so, you have to respect him for doing this. It's a great way to live your life. But he does, in fact, have to lock in. He has to want it bad enough. And so I'm hoping he can get off of the sniffing the creatine, get off the steroids, and finally lock in once and for all.
To be honest with you guys, I'm scared. I got rich once and I thought it would be really easy to do it again. Whoa, this is pretty scary. Now I'm going to get dogged. It feels like life is dogging me. Raw dogging me.
And so apparently life isn't protecting him. He doesn't have that barrier between himself and the real world. And so he's being raw dogged harder than last time. Just make sure you got the loop.
I need a shift. I'm in a negative feedback loop. That's what they call that. So when you have negative thoughts, they feed on each other, and then the cork gets unscrewed, drains you out the ass.
And so it's perhaps that positive feedback loop. It keeps asking him if he has AIDS on the questionnaire. He's getting a tattoo. And so apparently when I make a video, AIDS has Togi. It's resulted in him having it drain out of his ass. And so perhaps the world was raw dogging him and the world gave him AIDS. But because of the spinning that's going on, it's going to drain out of his ass and he will be cured.
This is easily the best decision I've ever made, and this is the coolest thing I've ever done.
I'm certain that is not the best decision that he's ever made, but if it is, well, I would feel bad for him. I'm certain he's made better decisions than this in his life.
You gotta be scheming schemes like this. You gotta be playing Clash Royale, you gotta be getting Fortnite tattoos, you gotta be playing Fortnite, you gotta be gambling, you gotta be doing goober. Dude, I don't make the rules. That's how you become successful.
Now, I mean, gambling worked out for Togi because of the sponsorships and so on, but I still have to discourage you from listening to Togi as far as giving you gambling advice. Gambling, it makes you lose money. That's what it's for. The winners when it comes to gambling are those who convince you to gamble. The ones that own the casinos, the people that you send your money to, and then they send you part of it back because you only want part of it back. Those are the winners. And so if you really want to be smart with your money, you don't gamble.
Every month, I'm going to stream 10 times, and we're just going to be hunting max wins. And every time that we do max win, 100% of that money gets donated to these kids with cancer.
I mean, it's absolutely amazing. He's giving this money to charities, to cancer victims, and so on. I just love how it says, 100% is going to cancer. And then on the screen, it flashes 50%. But I mean, you got to admit, he has to keep some of this money. I don't know how it works in the United States. In Canada, if you donate money to charity, it's a tax write-off and you get half of it back. I'm hoping that in the United States, they do the same thing. So Togi has enough money to pay for his taxes, because when you make a lot of money, so for example, you're making millions of dollars, the government says we want about half of that. And so you need to save about half of it just to pay the government for allowing you that wonderful opportunity to making money in this world.
So that's the plan. For 14 days, I'm just gonna take a ton of testosterone, a ton of super, and I'm gonna get really jacked in the next 14 days. And then at the end of that 14 days, I'll probably have inspiration on how to get super rich.
I mean, we have to start somewhere, I suppose, but what he did was he went on a bunch of steroids in high doses that are not good for his health. We've already talked about his thalassemia. We've talked about the negative side effects of abusing steroids, not to mention the recreational drugs that he's doing. And so none of this is good. It's good that he's giving money away to charity. It's good that he's very generous. But it's bad that he's a drug addict. What am I supposed to say? He does good, he does bad. I don't want you to copy this at home. He's an adult, he makes his own decisions, but you shouldn't try to be Togi. And so honestly, it's a pretty damn good starting point for most people. Now, mind you, his starting point is not 100% natural. He is on performance enhancing drugs. And he's 201 pounds. He's about 6'3", and so it is above average in size, but it's not huge, but he does aim to put on a ton of muscle. And so many people wrote in and said, how could Togi put on all that size? I'm thinking, look, A, he's on steroids. B, muscle memory. He used to take steroids and was a lot bigger. And C, he's finally training again. And so he was injured. He stopped training. He's on steroids and he's actually locked in. I mean, for a guy who was perhaps sniffing creatine all the time, using recreational drugs, partying and so on, and to go from doing that to really training and really trying, plus with the help of Eric Janicki training him, how could he not make positive changes?
As you can see, I'm getting ton of raging acne. I didn't expect this to happen either in such a short period of time.
So we're 9 days into his cycle. He's got horrendous acne developing. His hair is thinning out. He's breaking up with his girlfriend for waking up too early in the morning, setting alarms, and so on. And so things are not looking good. Is he in fact building muscle? Yes, but everything else is bad. And so he meets up with Ashton Hall.
I don't even look like, I don't look not natty though. I look like I'm
not natty and look at your arm.
Do I look like I'm juicy?
He's like, do I actually look like I'm not natural? Togi's like, well, obviously, that's what the entire internet is saying. Your arm looks like my quad. Of course you look like a fake natty. And remember, I've already called out Ashton Hall and I said, show me the blood work. But he chooses not to do it. And why do you think that is? It's very easy to say and yap that you're natural, but it's a lot harder to prove. And so if you just hide from anyone that says, show me your blood work, do a drug test, and so on, then don't you think they're going to continue to say it? On the other hand, if you show us your blood work and your physique is as good as it's always been, your LH and FSH are normal, your normal testosterone levels and so on, then, well, we'd have to say you're natural. But you don't because you're not.
Something factory.
Dude, Neil, I don't know who you think I am. I cannot spend $300,000 on a watch.
Technically, he could spend $300,000 on a watch if that's what he wanted, but he chooses to spend that money elsewhere. For example, with supercars. If you have 4 supercars and instead you have 3 supercars, you could use that money on the 4th supercar to, in fact, go and buy a watch. And so you can buy anything that you want if you really want it, but it's that you don't like watches enough to waste that much money on it.
I gotta see the bust down Richards.
Bust down Richie. We only have one, bro. Me, I try to do it different.
Oh, see, that's what I'm talking about right there.
That looks absolutely horrendous. This pink watch with all the jewels. This is not a man's watch. You don't want to wear that watch. Why would you want that watch?
I've been burning calories, dude.
Does cardio actually do anything?
Okay, so the way
I feel like the food is what does 99% of the work.
And so, yes, cardio, in fact, does something. I explained this in a separate video, but what it does is it allows you to be a better butter burner. It means you are better able to burn body fat and more calories at the same time while doing your cardio and after. And so, essentially, it increases your metabolism and allows you to burn off more calories in less time. This is why I can stay so lean year round. You're all thinking, no, it's the HRT. I used to blast hella steroids for 10 years, but I'm leaner now than I was before. And so let that think in. Why am I leaner now at almost 50 than I was when I was 40 blasting gear? It's the cardio. I race bikes. And so not only does it allow your body to be healthier, ward off heart attacks, strokes, type 2 diabetes, and so on, it also allows you to look more aesthetic. And so I strongly encourage you to do your cardio, to not just lift weights and rely on your diet. Adding cardio can add years to your life. And so please try and hit the minimum 150 minutes of zone 2 cardio each and every week.
I'll be on that Stairmaster for 30 minutes and I'll burn like 300 calories max.
Yeah, 300 calories max in 30 minutes. Now, if he trained and did more cardio a couple years from now, rather than burning 300 calories max, it'd probably be 600. You see the difference? I was burning about 500 calories in an hour when I started bike riding, and now I'm burning over 1,000. You can pretty much double it. Think of it like this. Even if he does only do 30 minutes of cardio each and every day, which is plenty, it equates to 31 pounds of fat in a year. Who wouldn't want to lose 31 pounds of fat in a year? It's not bad. It also lowers your set point so that your body wants to maintain a leaner and healthier physique. And so why not add in some cardio?
My best memory, my happiest I've ever been in my life, when we were filming Togi versus Cabo. And I was just doing, like, with all my friends, a crazy amount of hard drugs.
That is because of the release of dopamine. When you do drugs, you have dopamine. It makes you feel good. But the issue with that is it's not sustainable. If it was sustainable and drugs weren't bad, it didn't take off years off of your life, then, well, why not do it? But the problem is it does take years off your life, and it isn't healthy, and it isn't sustainable, and so you can't continue to do it. And so the goal is to find things in your life that you have to work hard for to release that dopamine. Dopamine that's released with no hard work, it's not good. You just take a pill, a drink of alcohol, whatever, and you get the dopamine. But what you need is something where you have to lock in and train in order to earn that dopamine. If you can find that, you can find happiness for the rest of your life. And so much better to, for example, lock in for 3 months, lifting weights, riding a bike, running, and so on. And at the end of the 3 months, you can see all those improvements. The work that you put in, you look in the mirror or you look on the bike or you time yourself on that run and you see the improvements, and that makes you feel joy, happiness from the work that you put into it. The accomplishments you get from knowing that you did the right things. Drugs don't do that. Training does. And so that's why it's important to find happiness outside of sniffing creatine and so on.
So I wanted to give you a $3,000 tip for going out of your way to fix this. Yeah, it's real money. No. Yeah, I got you.
And so Togi ended up with the best steak of his lifetime. He ends up tipping the Uber driver $3,000. He then gives Togi a message saying thank you. Togi had never received a thank you message from anyone before, and he thought, what a kind gesture. So he decided to tip him $10,000 extra in order to bring him and his family on a vacation. And not only that, he gives him a Tesla. And so bro has literally changed this man's life. And so obviously Togi does some amazing things. I just wish he didn't promote gambling. And I also wish he didn't promote performance enhancing as well as recreational drugs. And so he's got the good, he's got the bad. I'm not sure which is in his favor. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost the algorithm, like the video if you liked it, watch the top bloop, skip the second one, buy all the supplements from HGLT as well as the cookbooks, coaching plans you can get from myself. And if you don't want to end up like Togi, consider going to AlgoRx, get your blood work done. You can get doctor prescribed medications very easy, very cheaply. Click the link, code Greg, 10% off. And until next time, I am out.